What's up, y'all? We are here. I'm here. Thank y'all for joining. It looks so. I was perusing through the internet a couple of days ago, and I saw this interview with Godfrey and Crazy Legs, and I wanted to talk about it yesterday, but I didn't feel like talking to you niggas yesterday. Honestly, no, that was the goal for yesterday to come on live at about noon ish. But I was like, man, I don't feel like talking to none of these niggas. I'm a Gemini. As much as I like talking to y'all, I every bit as much love my peace and just solitude. So I just kicked it yesterday. Kicked it with my mommy and my daddy. So today I was scrolling through the internet and I saw Lord Jamar talking about it for a little bit. And I didn't get to watch all of his show. So I want to go back and watch it. I encourage y'all to go back and watch Lord Jamar's show on this. And I said, hold on, let me go back. I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna go back and watch it because it was certain things. It was some things. Another reason why I didn't talk about it on Sunday, I would probably give myself a damn headache. You know, you ever be like, not today. I don't want to talk about this silly shit today. But we here. First off, before we get started, welcome chat room. Welcome chat room. Thank y'all for joining chat. Thank y'all. And we're going to start off also by saying rest in peace to the legendary Roberta Flack. Another one of the great vocalists of our time. Had her own style.
Strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words.
Had a straight up purity within her voice, you know? Pure voice. She was a teacher before she made it. Donny Hathaway's friend.
Strolling in the park, watching winter turn to spring.
Just a very, very, very pure voice. Beautiful voice. She corrected me one time on Twitter a couple of years ago. When Bernard Wright died, I always thought Bernard Wright was her nephew. And she said, no, he was my she basically adopted him as a nephew. But she personally tweeted me that. No, he wasn't. Y'all know Bernard Wright. He passed away a few years ago. Another one of the great musicians. If y'all know about this from Bernard Wright. Let's see, we go. What you really came here for, don't you? That's that Bernard Wright right there. He passed away a few years ago. And she's like, no, that wasn't my direct nephew. I'm like, damn, man, you're losing so many great ones. And also, I just found out on top of Roberta Flack passing away, man, I found out Chris Jasper died from the Isley Brothers. Rest in peace to Chris Jasper also. He was really the sound, if you ask me, the Isley Brothers' greatest stretch. The Isley Brothers' first hit was Twist and Shout in 1959. They did that hit before then the Beatles covered it, but they did it first. You know, they had a few hits before Chris Jasper got there, and they most definitely had hits after. But it was that Chris Jasper run of albums from 73 to 83 is, if you ask me, one of the greatest runs, not only in Isley Brothers history, but in music history. This run they had right here, when he got there, it's 3+3. Man, that started out with Summer Breeze. Man, that song it's the way it simmers right there. Then it comes in. Nigga, the way that album simmers, boy. Live It Up. That's what Brown Eyed Girl. This is my shit right here.
Brown eyed girl, if you could.
Brown Eyed Girl is my favorite song on the album, but the most popular song on the album is
Hello, hello,
Girl.
hello.
Hello. See, Chris Jasper, he wrote and produced. He didn't sing. See, a lot of y'all, people don't understand the importance of a producer. And this is all going to tie into our conversation with Crazy Legs and all these people that's trying to take hip-hop history from us. It's the music production that makes the song. When you're listening to the singer is delivering what the producer is putting together, and the arrangers and the composers. And Chris Jasper was a major part of that, you know? Especially The Heat Is On. This is an album you got to listen to from top to bottom. Fight the Power. Before Public Enemy, see, Crazy Legs, hip-hop is Black American culture, because before Public Enemy said Fight the Power, Fight the Power, that started with the Isley Brothers. Well, it actually goes before that. That started with Black culture. Fight the Power is an expression of Black culture, and it showed itself through rhythm and blues, and when Public Enemy came around, through hip-hop. You know? This is probably my favorite song. Now, For the Love of You, this is the most popular song on this album. But Make Me Say It Again, Girl. See, this is that Chris Jasper, like his production. When you get to that vamp at the end, especially this crescendo into the vamp, right about here. Where is it? Change. Those subtle changes is what make a song. And back then, in those days, Crazy Legs, the songs that hip hop samples, Godfrey, giving you guys a history lesson before I get into tearing apart everything y'all was talking about. It's those changes in people like Chris Jasper, Roberta Flack, Killing Me Softly. That's Lauryn Hill. This right here, this Chris Jasper right here. Rock the Boat. That's how you rock the boat. Man, that's Chris Jasper right there, y'all. And then his biggest hit after he left the Isley Brothers, The Caravan of Love. This is Black music excellence and Black music, Chris Jasper, before the industry came around corrupting our shit. See, the Isley Brothers were self-produced and self-contained and self-distributed. So since they were self-contained and self-distributed, they made music, and this is Chris Jasper. That's what happens at Crazy Legs when we do our music self-contained and self-produced. This is our culture, and we about to break this down. But before we break down our culture, we got to give respect to the founders and the people who laid the foundation for hip-hop to stand on. Because it's those chord changes. It's that groove. You dig? It's that feeling that they put into the music that hip hop takes a small sample of and turns into some new music and they rap over. But let me tell you something. If the music Roberta Flack sang over, if the music Chris Jasper produced and put together were that easy, it would be no need for it to keep getting sampled all the time. It keeps getting sampled because of the genius that's born out of our experience and out of our culture. And out of that, hip-hop comes from. I love that song right there. Here we go again. This is for all you motherfuckers who keep going back to the wrong chick. What do you do when you love somebody? Thank you, Chris Jasper, for that. That's what that standing upright piano. The upright piano and the grand piano got different sounds, and I love that upright piano because that upright piano just be that upright. Where is it at? I don't want to pay too much. Woo, that's that upright piano right there. Woo! Thank you, Chris Jasper. And that's the culture on which hip hop stands on. So rest in peace to Jasper. Just rest in peace to Roberta Flack. All right, so let's break this whole thing down. So, again, welcome, chat room. Welcome, chat room. I appreciate y'all for joining. DeWanB.com for all your good shit. BlissCapsules.com. These Bliss Capsules be hidden. Buy two, get one for free with the product code DeWanB. You dig? BlissCapsules.com. All that's in the description. All the shit that I'm selling is in the description. But I want to get into talking about this bullshit. I want to talk about this bullshit that's going on. Oh, Rocky, you want to kick it? Man, get this little nigga come walking in and walking right back out. What you gonna do, Rocky? Getting into my god. This little nigga right here. So anyway, no, y'all, I didn't forget any songs. Trust me, I didn't forget any songs. The Isley Brothers had a lot of damn songs. And this isn't a show about the Isley Brothers. Although, I think I have done a dedication to the Isley Brothers on my, I'm going to put that up. I did a dedication to the Isley Brothers. I'm going to put that up on a Patreon. But yesterday on Patreon, I put up my Decoding Earth, Wind, and Fire parts 1 and 2. So if you're on Patreon, take advantage and go and listen to me decode Earth, Wind, and Fire. With the hits of Earth, Wind, and Fire. And not just the hits, the B-sides that made Earth, Wind, and Fire the spiritual group they are. That's up on Patreon right now. So now let's get into this shit with Godfrey. Godfrey, let me start off by saying this. I don't take sides in other people's beef and stuff like that, especially when I don't know the whole situation. A lot of what's going on, I don't know, like with the whole situation between Godfrey and Lord Jamar, I'm not too up on it. Oh, we close the door. You don't say here, little nigga? The beef between Godfrey and Lord Jamar, I'm not too much on. And look, if I get distracted, it's this nigga. It's this nigga's fault right here. Godfrey, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do, Rocky? You gonna stay? Or you gonna go? If I keep getting interrupted, blame Rocky. Don't blame me. This little nigga don't know if he want to be with me or my wife. All right. So anyway, I got a couple super chats. Oh yeah, we said rest in peace to the Iceman on the last show, but rest in peace to the Iceman. We said we gave the Iceman a good rest in peace on the last show, but thank you for reminding me. Rest in peace to Jerry, the Iceman Butler, because Jerry Butler is somebody who the music, he comes from the doo-wop era. He started with Curtis Mayfield in gospel quartet. I'm putting together I was just doing a section on Gary. I was just talking about Jerry Butler in my gospel documentary and on this book that I'm writing. For those who don't know, I'm writing a book right now, 100 Years of Black. I don't know the full title of it, but the running title is I'm basically focusing on Black American music from 1900 to 2000 and how we got to hip hop. And I'm going back to the 1700s in my book. This book is awesome. But I was just talking about Jerry the Iceman Butler. And because he came from gospel quartet, met Curtis Mayfield there, started the Impressions, and then left the Impressions to Curtis Mayfield. Jerry the Iceman Butler, also rest in peace. But thank you for that super chat. But we did mention him the last show, but I'll say it again. Rest in peace, Jerry Butler. Said these immigrants feel disconnected to improve their credentials. They were trying to falsely over. That's right, O'Brien. They will try to falsely overinflate their contributions. Oh yeah, Footsteps in the Dark was also composed by Chris Jasper. Hell yeah, man, Chris Jasper is like, ugh, God. Woo, a lot of great music, man. I appreciate y'all. But let's get into it. So, on the Godfrey show, and I encourage y'all to go watch it. I don't know the whole thing between him and Lord Jamar. I didn't pay that close attention to it because me personally, I don't argue flat Earth or not.
The different continents.
Oh shit!
Africa is the big exhibit, of course.
I don't get into that argument because my whole thing is I'm trying to master Earth, whether it's flat or round. I'm trying to get in and get it in. You dig? That's where I come from. So I didn't get into the whole situation between him and Godfrey. I checked out of that. But I respect both. But I also saw some things Corey said about Godfrey, and I've seen some of the ways Godfrey moved. And then on this one here, Godfrey, I wouldn't say went full on tether. I won't say that because there were a lot of points where he was defending the foundation of Black Americans, but it was a lot of stuff. He allowed a lot of lies to happen from Crazy Legs, and I cannot help but think maybe that's from his issue back and forth with Lord Jamar. I don't know, but did Godfrey bring Crazy Legs on to throw a jab at Lord Jamar? We got to ask that question because having Crazy Legs on there on the show, it almost didn't make sense because, like, what the fuck is Crazy Legs doing that we need to hear about? He's not an interesting guy. He ain't had no movies coming out. He ain't got no new music dropping. He don't DJ or do anything other than spin on his head. So why the fuck is Crazy Legs on to begin with? That's what first sort of raised my antennas. But let's get in. I'm gonna put the screen up over top. Let's get in and let's listen to some of the things that they were saying that kind of raised my antennas. He is talking about hip hop. Right. Why is he even here? Why is he even on the show? It has to be because you feel a certain way about Lord Jamar. Nothing else makes sense. But let's go.
And we Busy Bee, and that's what we were listening to. And what's his name? The
Curtis
Sugar
Blow.
Hill and Curtis Blow.
Yeah.
Those
Only
were,
pair.
we were thinking, wow, black dudes.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we watched when it was like the breaking, we saw Puerto Ricans and blacks. We're like, oh. I'm thinking they probably created that. Both of them created, that's how I saw it.
So here's
he's talking about the movie that Crazy Legs was in, talking about how hip hop was basically all the way black, and he didn't really see Puerto Ricans until the movie.
The first record I remember buying, rap record I remember, was
Rappers
King,
Delight for me.
was King Tim III, King.
But they weren't from our hip hop scene. They were just people rhyming.
Okay.
It wasn't hip hop culture. Was it dope?
He's saying Fatback, the group Fatback, they weren't from our hip hop scene. They were just rhyming. It wasn't the culture. I wanted to start on this one here because I'm not gonna play all of Godfrey's interview. I want you guys to go to his channel and watch it. I'll support his channel and support anybody I play their videos. Support their channel. But this is him basically saying Fatback wasn't hip hop. Listen to this.
Oh, did we appreciate it?
Right,
yes.
right.
It's like when
Let me go back and play that from the beginning and turn it up a little bit. Stop pinwheeling. Hold on. Now that shit want a pinwheel. The fuck, man?
record I remember buying,
Here you go.
record I remember was
Rappers
King,
Delight for me.
was King Tim III, King.
But they weren't from our hip hop scene. They were
Where were
just
they?
people rhyming.
Okay.
It wasn't
Right.
hip hop culture. Was it dope? Did we appreciate it?
Right,
Yes.
right.
It's like when Curtis
So
Blow
what
came
was
out.
it?
We
Where
didn't.
did it come from? Where did that come from?
That is honestly, that's beyond my pay grade.
Okay.
I'm not that knowledgeable.
He says Fatback isn't hip hop. It's not where we come from. So then the other co-host on Godfrey's show asks, okay, where does that come from? And Crazy Legs goes right into saying, well, I'm not a hip hop historian. I don't know. But this man goes around the world talking hip hop history. And he can't draw a simple connection between funk and hip hop. That's not that.
Good stuff. Why don't you tighten up on your backstroke?
Okay, different culture. Although the melody, the grooves is something that right there has been sampled so many times. That's just one of the songs.
I can't break.
Right.
I can't break it down like that. I know. I just know that it wasn't from being part of our world of
You're
hip hop.
saying like New York, Bronx, like that whole
Right. It
hip-hop
wasn't
thing.
in our world. So
It wasn't in our world. That's the point I want to keep bringing up to y'all as we speak on hip hop history. I know a lot of you lame ass niggas was mad at me because I highlighted the fact that KRS-One didn't know anything outside that New York bubble. What do we keep seeing here? New Yorkers are in a bubble. What is the thing with a bubble? Nothing can get in. So from their point of view, y'all weren't in this world, so you're not hip hop. But what's the other component of a bubble? Nothing gets out. Meaning they don't get out. So if you're in a bubble, how do you know somebody else ain't doing the same thing in another city, hell, in another borough? You don't know because you wasn't there. How do you take all of these samples? How do you watch Soul Train and watch all of these dances and not think that other people on different sides of the country aren't doing the same thing? Y'all all watching Soul Train. That's the thing we all watching the same movies. All y'all's watching The Last Dragon. That's why I got this t-shirt on. All y'all was watching The Last Dragon. When he said direct your pizza to Daddy Green's Pizza, every nigga in hip-hop knew that line. Who's the master? Yeah, Leroy. If you was around back then, you knew that. Come on, ladies. Maybe you can get a rise out of this limp wimp. There's all kind of rapping in The Last Dragon. When you got the flow, you need to go. You need to go. You need to flow. When you live to love, you love to live. Man, that was the worst goddamn Willie Hutch. That was the worst goddamn. I love Willie Hutch. Rest in peace. When you got that glow. But Willie Hutch from L.A. See, the hip hop song that represented New York karate came out of L.A. Willie Hutch. When you got to go, you need to flow. You need to go. You need to go. When you live to love, you love to live, love. Shine on. Shit, man. Fuck out of here. So, we talking about the people who were around in the 80s. If you too young, you too young. But if you was around, these are the same years Crazy Legs is talking about. If you black American and you was born in the 70s and the 80s, you know the fucking Last Dragon. This is a cultural thing. If you was born in the 80s and especially early 80s or the late 70s and you don't know the Last Dragon, we like, what? Who the fuck is you? If I say who's the master and you don't say show enough, you probably a tether. Let's just put it out there. If you between the ages of 55 and 39, 38, if I say who's the master and you don't say show enough, fuck out my face, nigga. Fuck out of here. You ain't, yeah. You're guessing hip hop. You're guessing hip hop. Am I lying? You're guessing hip hop. If I say who's the master and you don't know to say show enough, fuck out of here, nigga. O'Brien says these immigrants feel different. I read that one over there. Yeah, that's not what you put up. He said they don't know anything outside that New York bubble. Right. What Crazy Legs just said is proving what I've been saying this whole time. From KRS-One last week, not ever knowing anything about Uncle Jam's Army, even though Uncle Jam's was hip hop concerts, 15,000 people showing up. Run DMC, Curtis Blow, Houdini, gracing the stage, and he didn't even know about it. Mr. Reynolds' neighborhood says this is why I said when we heard hip hop, we heard ourselves differently. You're right, everybody. That's a good point, Roguish neighbor. He said this is why I say when we heard hip hop, we heard ourselves differently. When everyone else, non-black, heard something new. That's a great point. They heard something new. We heard an evolution of what we've been doing. So just basically off top here in this interview, you're seeing that Crazy Legs don't even understand the continuum that is hip hop and don't even understand anything outside that New York bubble.
Get it? And people like Bambaataa introduced it to us when it was played on the radio on BLS.
Yeah.
And
he said, and Bambaataa, he got introduced to Fatback and Funk through Bambaataa. Let's go back and listen to that because I want to take a real good analysis of who we have. We have to analyze who is talking. When we're talking music history or anything history, when they always say, look at who's talking, this is what we mean. See, that's why I say there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages. Messengers aren't going to always be perfect. That's true. That's because you look at someone's lifestyle and like, oh, they can't tell me nothing. They smoke weed. They can't tell me nothing. No. When we say look at the messenger, this is what we're talking about. Listen to the context in which they speak. He's telling you he does not know anything outside that New York bubble. He's telling you he's not a historian. And he's telling you that he said that he don't even like. Let's go back and listen to this point. I lost my goddamn train of thought, but I'll get it back when I hear this part.
Beyond my pay grade. I'm not that knowledgeable. I can't I can't break it down like that. I just know that it wasn't from being part of our world of hip hop.
You're saying like New York, Bronx, like that whole
right. It wasn't in our world, so I get it. And people like Bambaataa introduced it to.
That's what I was saying. Bambaataa introduced it to him. The rest of us got introduced to the funk from home. I knew the Isley Brothers were vanguards of hip hop because my daddy turned me on to the Isley Brothers. So when Biggie came out with his version, I was like, I knew when it dropped. That was the Isley Brothers. I love it when they call me Big Papa. I'm like, it's the Isley Brothers. I knew that. I didn't have to have Africa Bambaataa tell me that's an Isley Brothers sample. I didn't have to go down to the 5% Nation meeting to learn this information. This is what my daddy played at home. This is what your daddy played at home. Your uncles, your mom, your cousins. This is what we all heard at family reunions. So we understand, like the brother said in the super chat earlier, we understand the continuum because we lived it. We didn't need some accused pedophile like Africa Bambaataa to tell it to us. You say to motherfucker yesterday, if we took FBA 7 out of hip hop, what do you have? Exactly, nothing. You take Black American sampling out, you have nothing. Nothing. You cannot take it out. Like, let me see here. I was going to play something, but that song just went away. Fuck it. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
To us, when it was played on the radio on BLS, and if you were listening to that, you would hear it. But me, I go to see Cold Crush, Furious 5, Treacherous 3. Right. There's no King Tim on any of those flyers.
Right.
There's no King Tim.
See, there's no King Tim. He was going to see Cold Crush. He's judging his hip hop experience off of the flyers. This is what you call a forensic analysis. Just all you gotta do is let people talk. Let people talk. The man saying that hip hop is a separate culture is telling you that he only knows who's on the flyer.
And people like Bambaataa introduced it to us when it was played on the radio on BLS. And if you were listening to that, you would hear it. But me, I go to see Cold Crush, Furious 5, Treacherous 3. There's no King Tim on any of those flyers.
Right.
There's no King Tim.
You're right.
I mean, Fatback Band.
Yeah.
And Fatback Band.
We had those
that's Fatback Band. Are the ones who did King Tim the Third.
Right. Wow.
But that's a funk and soul R&B kind of group.
Yep.
So
that's a funk and a soul and an R&B kind of group. You can see here that this dude just don't even know what it is. It's a funk, soul, R&B. Well, what are you dancing to? If everything you're dancing to is a sample of funk, soul, and R&B, then what is hip hop? Even when you look at, I'm gonna give y'all a little gem right here. I saw some people taking some of my stuff recently, but I ain't gonna say nothing because the whole point is it's not my stuff. Matter of fact, I apologize. No one's taking my shit. I'm only talking about music history. All right, so let me apologize because that came off very arrogant. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be that. I do not want to be that guy. So I apologize for my shit even coming off like that. But I heard something I quote a lot, I should say. I heard one of my quotes going around on IG recently and about the drums. And my thing is just like, okay, as long as the knowledge gets out there, cool. But I'm going to give y'all another one, and I'm sure we're going to see this up too. Let's go back to Public Enemy. Even bands like Public Enemy is based off James Brown, the rapper and the hype man. Who was the first hype man? The first hype man was Bobby Bird, nigga. With James Brown.
Roland, I know you.
What y'all know about this? What would hip hop be without this song right here? Bobby Bird? Bobby Bird? That's the original hype man. The whole thing I have with James Brown would rap. And Bobby Bird would be the hype man. That's how you get Public Enemy. That's how you get the hype man and the rapper combined together. Bobby Bird and James Brown. Ain't no hip hop without this. This is what you rapping over, yo. And Crazy Legs in our face is trying to separate that sound from what we do. Brian said, you got 10 uncles and aunties, and I'm 40, they introduce you. Yeah. This is, so as you listen to him talk, this is why black folks, we can't always be so angry. We got to respond to these type people with intelligence, not because when you're angry, you don't come off right. You may be right. Everything you say is accurate. But if you come in, hey man, no, that ain't how we go. That ain't how we go. Ain't nobody trying to hear that shit, black people. Don't do that. Don't do that. I hate when we having this time, we be having these talks. This dude is retarded. Like, if you listen to him talk and look at his body language, you can see that Crazy Legs is actually retarded. This dude can't even hear himself when he says, I don't really know the connection in the culture, but I'm still going to talk anyway. I don't know the history, so instead of learning the history, I'm going to just stick to what I know without learning the history, yet keep talking. That's a fucking retard. And you don't need to go around looking retarded, arguing with a retarded motherfucker, okay? We got to be more measured when we respond to shit like this. Because this dude's a fucking retard. Puerto Ricans don't even wear their hats like that. But he's saying that he's hip-hop. What?
You're saying it's a different
There's a lot of
cultural
man.
thing altogether.
There's a lot, yeah. So,
and then when you look at some of the, like, if you look at Curtis Blow, he has Tito Puente playing on some of his songs.
Yeah.
shit.
That was the point he just made. His point was Curtis Blow has Tito Puente playing on some of his songs. Hint. Black Americans have always, another common thing you'll see is Black Americans have always welcomed others around when it comes to our stuff. And we'll allow you to play on a song here or there. Doesn't mean it's your sound. But if we go deeper, like I said before, if we go deeper into Tito Puente, although he did play Caribbean drums, Tito Puente started out playing the drum set. And he gets his chops because his number one inspiration on the drums wasn't a Latin drummer. It was Max Roach. Black people, we all got to know who Max Roach is. He did way too much for us as a people, musically. Max Roach introduced making the drums a solo act. White people push Buddy Rich, but it was really Max Roach was the forefather of making the drums the solo thing. He's a bebop drummer. He's a drummer. It was Max Roach's philosophy when it came to bebop. He said Charlie Parker, Dizzy, Thelonious, when they were all coming together making that bebop sound, the sound that inspired Tito Puente, the sound that inspired Latin jazz, the reason why they had to go off and make their derivatives was because they made bebop. Bebop was to be so ingenious that other groups could not follow. Max Roach wanted to make a sound that was so sonically sophisticated, white people couldn't catch up. And that's what bebop is, the father of hip hop. So if he's wondering why Tito Puente would make sense on a Curtis Blow song, it's because Tito Puente, the person he looked up to the most was Max Roach. It was Max Roach that really ushered in the civil rights movement musically with this song. Can't play it all, but that's Abby Lincoln singing when he was married to Abby Lincoln. And that song dropped in 1960, before the rhythm and blues and rock and roll guys were doing music to address the civil rights, what's going on in civil rights. It was Max Roach, when he dropped that really got the pace of the things going, and that pulled music into the civil rights. It was Max Roach that pulled the pop artists into the civil rights struggle with their music. So black people must always, always, always honor Max Roach, one of the forefathers of hip hop, through bebop, because bebop is an extension of hip hop. Crazy legs, learn your history. It's not good enough to go around saying what you don't know. We're in the age of information, motherfucker. Find out. I don't know is not good enough. But let's keep going.
Even if you go back to jazz, Dizzy Gillespie went to Cuba, and that's where they got the what do you call it, the jazz version of Cuban.
He got the history all the way messed up. With respect, I don't really know this brother, so I don't want to disrespect him. I don't really know him. I don't know his name, but he seemed like a good dude. But with respect, my brother, you got it twisted. With respect. I'm not being. He doesn't understand. This is what he's saying. Listen to what he says right here, and I'm gonna give you guys the correct history. I gotta put it on here. So I want to. This is with respect to Godfrey's podcast, but we gotta clear this misconception. Let's listen to this.
Shit.
Even if you go back to jazz, Dizzy Gillespie went to Cuba, and that's where they got the what do you call it, the jazz version of Cuban, like.
Mungo
Santa Maria
yes.
and Dizzy Gillespie.
It's like a
no. Let's correct that history real quick, all right? And I did it in my documentary. If you go follow Incense and Ashtrays, I only got one video up. That's my mini doc. No, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. This is how it happened. I'm writing this in my book right now. It started in 1940 when Mario Bowser took his bandmates from Chick Ware's band and joined his brother and created Machito and his Afro-Cubans. Outside of Bowser and Machito, the rest of that band was Black American. Started in New York. That's your first. When we get the first inklings of the salsa sound. Salsa got developed because what was happening in New York in the 1940s and in the 1950s, the Latin musicians from Spanish Harlem were coming into Harlem to the Savoy Ballroom, to those rooms in Harlem, listening to what the black guys were doing. And those Afro-Cubans weren't accepted. Mario Bowser talks about it all the time. Mario Bowser was too dark. So the Latin places didn't want to fuck with the dark Cubans. So the dark Cubans would come down to Harlem, and you can look this up in PBS's series on jazz history, where you listen to these guys say it for themselves. They're coming over to Harlem because the darker skinned Cubans, the darker Puerto Ricans, weren't accepted by the light ones on their side of town. So they came with us. And in the late 40s into the 50s, Dizzy Gillespie, another person that every black person should know his name, Dizzy got on the bebop in Kansas City with Charlie Parker. Bebop comes out of Kansas City to New York through Charlie Parker, through Dizzy, through Lester Young. And that's when at the same time, terms like cool, bread, terms, when these terms are coming into New York, boogie down projects, term boogie, Lester Young. Dizzy Gillespie at this time is already a master of bebop. He is starting to explore his sound more. And like that's what jazz does. Jazz explores. Jazz is in constant exploration. So he gets with some of the Latin guys, and under Dizzy's direction, you get the song Mantenka. And this 1954 is the first recorded Latin jazz, because when Latin jazz is Cuban, is mambo music, is native Latin Cuban music combined with the harmonies and the melodies and the phrasing of bebop with Black American instrumentation. The drum set comes in. The phrasing changes from long phrasing to that's bebop. And out of that, you get this song here. This is Mantenka. Let me see here. Let me see if I can play it for you over here. Here we go. Here we go. And this is how the Latin jazz sound got started, right here. You see here. Oh, let me take this. I got a picture of it. Let me take this picture down. You see here, Latin jazz, what makes Latin jazz unique separate from traditional mambo music is this drum set. This is when they introduced the drum set to their music. Their music didn't have a drum set. They saw what we were doing and they introduced themselves. That's how Latin jazz got started. And it wasn't just him, Dizzy. It was also Horace Silver. Horace Silver is another forefather in the vanguard. He's the vanguard of the Latin sound. These are black American men, by the way. Senior blues gone away. That's how you get Latin jazz. When these brothers provided you guys with the rhythm, harmonies, and melodies, and instruments that you fused with the Latin sound, birthing the Latin jazz scene. So with respect, I just wanted to correct that mistake the brother made. Okay? Let's stop playing here. Let's stop playing. All right?
just it's so intertwined. Like,
yes, it's intertwined, and the weave starts with Black American sound and culture, even in the Latin sound. Prove me wrong. I'll wait. So let's go to the next point. Oh, here there's somewhere here they lie on James Brown. Here we go.
Body movement.
Listen to this lie Crazy Leg says on James Brown.
He would go to practice.
Well, let me go back because that's.
Used to come to.
Man, I'm only here to teach you history, Crazy Legs. You said you don't know the history. Well, I do. So let me help you out.
Furious 5, Treacherous 3.
Right.
There's no King Tim on any of those flyers.
Right.
There's no King Tim.
You're right.
I mean, Fatback Band.
Yeah.
And Fatback.
No, I went back too far. That's where he's talking about flyers and shit.
Here's a story, bro.
Yeah.
And I learned this from one of the women who used to hang out with Find Your All-Stars. So when James Brown used to come to the Apollo to perform, he would go to practice dance with Fania All-Stars because he had the footwork, but he needed to figure out the upper body movement. So again, if we're imitating what we were...
He said James Brown would go to Harlem and practice with Latin people to learn upper body movement. Do you know that when James Brown was in New York, and I found you can go and watch James Brown's Godfather documentary. I think it's on either Max or Hulu, one of those two. When James Brown was in New York, do y'all know that he was doing 6 shows a day on weekends? James Brown wasn't in New York hanging out. James Brown's the hardest working man in the show business. Let me say that again. On Saturday and Sunday, James Brown would do 6 shows a day at the Apollo. And this guy is trying to tell me that James Brown was going down to New York learning. And let's just say he was. Because look, one thing about artists are always around each other. One thing about artists, I'm not going to say James Brown did not draw inspiration from different groups of people when he would be out on the road. But this guy is making it seem as if James Brown had to learn upper body movement from some Puerto Ricans. Then why didn't they get famous?
We're all imitating James Brown. Didn't matter what background you were.
You see this, people? You said Dizzy was a force in jazz before he met Chano Panzo. Chandra Panzo, yeah. He later, the Afro-Cuban sound was influenced by Dizzy. Yeah, that was later. See, the thing with Chacho Panzo is this. Chacho Panzo was a rhythm guy. And he most definitely brought them Cuban rhythms. I'm never going to take that shit from Chacho Panzo. Chacho Panzo brought them Cuban rhythms with his style of drum play. Here's the thing when he died. Let me say, here's the thing when it comes to the Chacho Panzo part. With him, that sound isn't core to Black American sound. The Chacho Panzo rhythm, when you get Tito Puente, he's taking his Max Roach lessons and combining that with Chacho Panzo to create Tito Puente. And that sound goes off in that direction. The Black American sound never becomes driven by hand drums. Never at any point is Black American music driven by hand drums. It's driven by the drum set. So Chacho Panzo influenced more drummers of the Latin sound to expand that sound in Latin music. That's Chacho Panzo. The rhythms, the Latin rhythms, well, I gotta stop saying Latin. The Afro-Cuban rhythms that Chacho Panzo brought on. But the Chacho Panzo sound does never at any point infiltrate the Black American sound, while at the same time, the Black American drum set, Max Roach, stays in Latin jazz. The drum set is still a staple in Latin jazz till this day. Black Americans use the hand drums to color around the music, but it's not an essential core component that's driving the music. It comes down to function. Gotta remember that. Gotta remember that. I keep saying chancho, I'm dyslexic. Chancho. Man, it's a different language, god damn it. I don't even know English. I don't know Spanish. And I'm never gonna fucking learn. I said chancho, god damn it. I'm from New York. I'm from LA, not New York. You think I give a fuck? Back to what we talking about. No, Scotty, you're right. James Brown did learn his dance from the church. If you go back and watch James Brown's documentary, when James Brown's talking about all that movement he made, in his own words, he said he was imitating the preacher at church. That's in James Brown's own words. He was imitating the preacher. No, James Brown did not get his style from Joe Tex. He took some rhythms from Joe Tex, and he took some songs I heard from Joe Tex, but he did not get his dance style. You're talking about dropping the mic and picking it back up. Joe Tex claims that he got that from James Brown, got that from him. When I don't know if Joe Tex is right. I wasn't living in 1961 to tell if he was right or wrong, but I will say a lot of Black Americans, I don't even associate dropping the mic and picking it up with James Brown. It's kind of what a lot of Black Americans was doing at the time. James Brown was dancing. James Brown learned how to dance because his mom was a hooker and his dad didn't take care of him. So James Brown used to dance for money when he was 10. He didn't learn it. James Brown watched the preacher and went outside and would go down and dance when he was 10, when he was 9, when he was 8. It wasn't no goddamn welfare back then. James Brown's welfare was dancing when he was 8. Yeah, Jackie Wilson did it, yeah. And James Brown had a hell of a, he was greatly inspired by Jackie Wilson. So I don't put the picking the mic up into one particular Black act. A lot of Black acts are doing that. Yeah, James Brown and Joe Tex were going back and forth over a woman, and James Brown and Joe Tex basically wrote a song talking about how he can have her, and James Brown wrote a song saying you can keep her. So let's keep going.
But
so let me go to this other part. He got in talking about Joe Conzo, and he has this thing in his ass about FBA and about Tariq. You see that crazy legs?
They're going to fall in line with it, whether it's true or not. And yeah, to your point, I agree it has to do with online shit. I'm not with any of that stuff. That's why for me, it was more like, yo, my man, Jamar, like, you know, you're a little reckless with your mouth. Like, how do you really want to handle this? You know, I saw him in person.
So that's him talking about Lord Jamar. He got a bug in his ass about Lord Jamar. He got a bug in his ass about Tariq. And low key, Godfrey, this wasn't a good look on you. You bringing your own crazy legs to lie. Godfrey allowed crazy legs to come on his platform saying all these lies just so he can thumb it back at Lord Jamar. That's that.
But okay, everybody goes through oppression, Latinos, but then you got Latinos that turn around and hate Black people. So the guys,
you got Black people that hate Black people.
I know that, but
see, look at this. See, this is where I do give Godfrey credit. Godfrey is making a good point. You got Latinos, and he says you got Black people that hate Black people. He's not saying no. At no point is Lazy Leg saying that it's cool that we should fix the situation.
Okay, everybody goes through oppression, Latinos, but then you got Latinos that turn around and hate black people. So the guys,
you got black people that hate black people.
I know that.
You got black. Look at how zesty that was. You got black people that hate black people. You got black people. Look at that zesty ass hand move he just did one more time.
But then you got Latinos that turn around and hate black people. So the guys,
you got black people that hate black people.
I know that,
but you didn't have black people hating Puerto Ricans, though.
Right?
Like, that wasn't
never hated
so.
Puerto
What I'm
Ricans.
saying, and that's I think the rub is that black people who were at the bottom of the totem.
See, yeah, he didn't mention that part, but you didn't have black people hating Puerto Ricans. You got black people that hate black people. All right, let me put the image back up so I don't get no goddamn copyright strike. Then we're going to keep going. You got black people that hate black people. That was real zesty, homeboy. That was real zesty. The way you did that. Was it here? Where's the picture at? You got black people that hate black people. All right.
Yeah, what he thought, and most, Melly Mel, a bunch of people, I went to them and said, yo,
what do you think?
What do you think about us? And all of them said, yo, we never discussed any of that shit.
Yeah.
And I also threw this.
It's probably talking about they're talking about the whole race thing, and he's talking about how he went to Melly Mel and went to a lot of those old people saying, when did this whole race thing become a discussion? And Melly Mel said it never was. And I don't think he's lying right there, because black people generally don't make it a race discussion. We just mind our own business, having a good time. It's Puerto Ricans like you and Fat Joe coming in saying hip hop was created 50-50. That's when it became a topic. I hate when they try to play innocent. You're right, race wasn't a topic because black people accept everybody. It became a topic when you guys said hip hop was created 50-50. And you're trying to carve out some credit when all you were was some dude with a mullet in the shack dancing. You had a Jerry Crow mullet looking like Kid Ray from Lean on Me, and you was spinning on your stupid ass head. And you think that should give you credit into creating a culture. And no, it doesn't. Let me skip forward to the other part. 38:30. Let me skip forward to this part.
I had the afro.
Yeah, I was like this. I was like, I think he's like a
He's talking about when he had the afro. No, I won't do it. I'm saying. I'm going to that part. No, not that part. Not that part. Not that part. 39. Here we go.
the origins. Yeah. Everybody's like that, like for real. Mm-hmm. Like it's like I could, cause like okay, salsa. There's a video that I saved, and it looks like the 70s. Some
Zaire,
the cool guy that's breaking down salsa. He goes,
no, not that part. Not that part. Here we go. Here's where he gets talking about Black Americans right here. This is where he gets to talk about Black Americans right here.
And I was like, bitch,
hey, you know,
you a crazy.
He's about to talk about
it's
FBA
crazy
right
legs. I love crazy legs.
You know, it's a crazy thing. Like, I think with the whole FBA thing, if it was led with good faith,
yeah,
everyone would have gotten behind it, and then we would have all locked arms and supported that. But when you have the helm operating in a way that's divisive, it's like, yo, your goal is a good goal, man. You don't have to shit on me to get to your goal.
You know,
so he said if he's saying the FBA was not created with good intentions. Let's hear this part again. Let's just break down this part right here.
You a crazy.
Hey, it's crazy legs. I love crazy legs.
You know, it's a crazy thing. Like, I think with the whole FBA thing, if it was led with good faith, everyone would have gotten behind it. Yeah. And then
he said if it was led with good faith. How? How do you determine if it's good faith or not? This is Black Americans talking about our history. Think about this. We're literally trying to tell Crazy Legs and Fat Joe and Busta Rhymes and Pete Rock that hip hop is an extension of our culture. It's a continuum. And you guys don't want to listen to the very people that create all of the style, the way you dress. Wasn't no Puerto Ricans dressed like this. Like I said before, they was wearing tank tops and mullets back in the 80s. His people was wearing goddamn mullets and tank tops and white shoes. Y'all was wearing fucking white loafers and shit. Dressing like goddamn piñatas. Puerto Ricans, I don't know about, I know in LA, in the 80s, y'all was walking around looking like goddamn walking piñatas. Y'all wasn't dressing like this. So you take, on one hand, you take the way we talk, the way we walk, the way we dress, and sample all the music. And when we try to tell you this is a continuum of our culture, we've been doing this, you call us divisive. You have a whole culture that you can go back to, where y'all can eat all the plantains y'all want. Y'all can listen to niggas shake the maracas. Y'all can do all this shit without us ever being around. Like you said before, you had to get introduced to funk music through Africa Bambaataa, not your uncle. Different culture. And instead of you, remember I told y'all before when I did my show last week on West Coast hip hop, the Asians and the Latinos were very clear. We were doing what the black guys were doing. The Asian guy, DJ Icy Ice, said, we Asians are thankful to black culture. How hard is that? You are trying to claim black culture, but saying shit like this.
We would have all locked arms and supported that. But when you have the helm operating in a way that's divisive, it's like, yo.
How do you quantify operating in a way that's divisive? Is telling the truth and labeling the style of immigrant that takes from us the proper label? If that's divisive, then that's divisive. Because when I first heard of FBA, I didn't hear about every immigrant being painted with a broad brush. That's not what I heard. I heard the style that tries to take from Black American culture, that immigrant being called and without giving us credit, while still coming in and trying to tell us who we are and what we do. Try to come into black society and dictate and call shots. That's a tether. The ones that try to call shots, not all immigrants. So that's divisive. If this bothers you, that tells me more about you than anything else.
Your goal is a good goal, man. You don't have to shit on me to get to your goal. You know, I'll support your goal.
He went off on Africans, and
not about shitting on you. It's about when you keep lying on our culture. It's the old Black American proverb. You bring you in. It's how you know you're not from our culture, Crazy Legs. You talk shit. We have a shit talking culture. When niggas warned you, if you stop, correct what you're saying, listen to the fathers of the culture. If you don't, you get clowned. That's just what we do amongst each other. We supposed to treat you with you want to be in the culture, then okay. If you want to be in the culture, then be in the culture. And part of the culture is clowning. And that's why I got respect for Godfrey. Godfrey at least understand that. When he goes in, Godfrey tries to break it down.
Wild.
But I didn't take it. I understood where it was coming from because sometimes revolution takes a little. It's going to be harsh first.
Yeah.
But I understand where he's coming from, and I even said, I'm not offended by it. I know what angry black men are like. I'm a peripheral student of Minister Farrakhan. I had a black book club in college. My friends protect the minister now that I started a book club with in college. I know that I'm around these cats. I had Francis Cress Welsing at my school. I met Stokely Carmichael at my school. So and Stokely Carmichael's Trinidadian.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's Trinidadian. Yeah. Shirley Chisholm, Trinidadian. Yeah. I mean,
but Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Stokely Carmichael came to America to follow our lead. Black Americans don't hold, what's her name? He just said her name, Shirley Chisholm, in high regard, because she was an OG tether. She came to America to push a feminist agenda, not a black agenda. She was the first tether to use the black agenda for feminism. We don't actually hold her in high regard, honestly. Not like Francis Cress Welsing. But you see how quick, even like someone like a Godfrey who's willing to stand up, he still wants to chip a little bit off for the tethers. And this is why we're talking about this whole situation, Godfrey. And for anybody else who wants to speak on black stuff, you got to be 100%. We've dealt with way too much to be bullshitting. I made the mistake on this very channel. I know I make mistake. I made the very mistake of, I had a particular Latina that said some good things who I know personally about Black America, and I shouted her out on this channel, only for it to be asked to be taken down because they were afraid of maybe the retribution from, I don't know, from white people, from Latinos. I don't know. But even a person that was so-called, or I thought was cool, they weren't, because how those folks see them is more important. So that made me draw the conclusion, man, you have said a lot of dope things about black people. But if you're not willing to stand on it, that the way I see it is maybe that's just your hustle, your angle. If not hustle, maybe you do feel that way. I don't know. But if you ain't willing to stand on it, I can't promote you or promote you say. Not that that person needs my promotion. They're all on TV. They don't need me for shit. They already on. I'm not. They the ones that's on, not me. But out of respect and not wanting to get in anybody's way for what they ultimately want to accomplish, I took the video down. It was a complimentary video, but you don't know as black, that's the precarious position we as black people are constantly put in. We're so welcoming, we're so cool. All we want is respect. But the people around us, you don't know until you know. You dig what I'm saying? And that's the issue. That's the situation. Yeah, what's up, Star? Everybody say what's up, Star, in the chat. But that's the position we're put in as Black Americans. You find somebody that, and you think it's cool. They've been solid by you for the most part. And then you say something complimentary, then now all of a sudden you can't even get a call from them. You got to get a call from somebody else. Oh, they want you to, well, it's something that was said, they might, can you just take it down? You don't want it to be blasted that you down for black people? I was wrong. My bad. This makes me not want to say anything about anybody else. You're right about the Lady Hotel. We've been welcoming to a fault. Yes, we have. And I've been one of them. And I'm not saying I won't make that mistake again, because I'm a big-hearted person. I see humans first before I see race. But I know I live in the United States of America, so I must see race. I must, because this is the system that I was born in. and it dictates and it plays a role in every sector of society, like Neely Fuller teaches. All in the 9 areas of people activity, race is the primary role. So I'm more so on the fact that, all right, cool. If you're an ally, your work to speak up for itself. But my days of highlighting allies, that's just probably over. I'm not, fool me once, you dig? Fool me once. But I want to hear to play this last part of what he said, and then we're going to get it in and I'll take some calls.
And if you got a small group of white people that can take over South Africa, what the fuck?
And they're also dictating who's white and who's not white.
Which is
there
unreal.
was a time when Italians wasn't white. There was a time when Irish wasn't white. There was a time when Jews weren't considered white. No. And now that's changing. So
and then they all turn on us.
Well, I tell you,
which is unreal.
I'm gonna tell you, Latinos ain't next. I'll tell you.
Latinos aren't next. Godfrey and his co-host talking about how all these other races weren't white at one point, but once they got accepted into whiteness, they all turned on us. Read this fool's body language.
So
and then they all turn on us.
Well, I tell you,
which is unreal.
I'm gonna tell you, Latinos ain't next. I'll tell you.
What do you mean ain't next? Y'all started this shit. Where that book at? By Tanya Hernandez. Man, my fucking house, I got books everywhere. Rocky be stripped. Where that book at by Tanya Hernandez? Here it is. We ain't next. Nigga, color-coded racism started with the Spanish. Get this book right here. It's called Racial Innocence. Racial Innocence by Tanya Kateri Hernandez. She's an Afro-Latina. In this book, it's called Unmasking Latino Anti-Black Bias and the Struggle for Equality. This book talks about all of the anti-black racism that goes on in the Latino community. So while Crazy Legs is saying he ain't next, Fat Joe had white when he got locked up in jail as his race. I'm sure he does too. What do you mean you ain't next? You already there. The only thing Latinos are waiting on is for white people to say, come join the party. It's the only thing they're waiting on. Read this book, Racial Innocence. In this book, it talks about how Latino, that's why it's called Racial Innocence. It talks about how they try to play the innocent game with black people. How they try to play the we're not racist game. We're all brown, black and brown. But it talks about all the hell they lay down on Afro-Latinos and how knocked down, stomped down racist they are with Afro-Latinos and how that behavior goes about, it goes out, and black Americans face it. So in this book, Miss Tanya Hernandez wrote a book warning black people, watch out. Don't fall for that racial innocence game. These people are fucking racist. Not to say all. But somebody moving like Crazy Legs? So this is what it is. Again, I don't get into the whole situation, but between Lord Jamar and Godfrey, but Godfrey looked as if if I'm gonna tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, you just sort of sullied your platform a little bit, brother. Having this guy lie on your show for an hour and a half. You allowed a man to come on your show and lie about black culture for an hour and a half. On your platform. All because Well, what we feel you having an issue with Lord Jamar. So you bring on somebody who you know is beefing with Lord Jamar to spread all kind of lies. While you hide behind what I'm cool with FBA, we see you waffling. Yeah, we see you waffling. I'm not the one to judge. I'm not telling people who to listen to, who not to listen to, but we see you waffling. And take a lesson from Fat Joe. Every day, more and more black people are being aware of our delineation movement and us delineating. Don't end up like Fat Joe, and don't end up like Joy Reid. Joy Reid just got fired from her show today. Joy Reid is gone. MSNBC said we're tired of paying a hairdresser to make you look like one of the Golden Lords on Meteor Man. That's what happened. I think that MSNBC was like, look, if we ain't gonna give Robert Townsend no more money to make another Meteor Man with the Golden Lords, we don't want a Golden Lord on our news broadcast. She done spent her whole career conflating blackness with everybody else. Black and, and look what happened. Ain't none of those ands here to save her. This is what happens when you play that game, black people, of let's all come together. We gotta learn our fucking lessons. I don't not play that game because I hate other groups. I don't not play that game because you guys don't reciprocate. Flat out. You just don't reciprocate. They didn't reciprocate by giving Joy and Reid ratings. She shit on Black America. She shit on FBA. And now she gonna be sitting outside of her apartment in New York hoping a bird don't shit on her. Hopefully a bird does. Turn your hair black. Get that dye out your shit. Looking like a news version of Cynthia Erivo. So let's listen to News Erivo. We're gonna call her News Erivo. News Erivo, the news version of Cynthia Erivo. Let's listen to her talk about losing her job. Let's listen to this real quick.
My show had value, and that I'm sorry. That what I was doing had value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV. And this is kind of like me on TV, so I apologize. And that it mattered. I see Karen is there, and she's been texting me as well. And so what I will just say is that in the end, thank you. Where I land is that the moment of guilt that I felt, that I went hard on so many issues, whether it was the Black Lives Matter issues of a young baby or a mom or a dad that was killed, or when we opened up people's eyes to the fact that Asian Americans were being targeted and not just Black folks, there's
that line. You notice that? That's like a de facto line in the people. Why is it always not just Black folks? Why are we always just not just Black folks? It's like people get some sort of badge of honor by saying not just those Negroes. Okay, if it wasn't just Black folks, then where in the hell are all these people to watch your TV show?
went hard for immigrants who've done nothing but come to this country like my parents did and try to make a life and
did nothing but go hard for immigrants. Where was this coalition to watch your show? You did all of this, and your core base was Black Americans. That was your base. Although you're an immigrant, my mom and my dad used to watch her all the goddamn time, especially my dad. Every time I go see my dad, I'd be like, oh, god damn, Dad, Pops, I'm gonna go sit on the porch until you done. Oh, I'll turn her off. Like, my dad stopped watching her a long time ago, but a while ago, but when I used to go to my parents' house, man, I'd be going, like, Pops, I came over here to see the Lakers with you, man. Turn this. Why are we watching Eddie Levert? I mean, Cynthia, what? Oh, yeah. You was getting black folks. My mom's church group would be talking about, did you hear what Joy Reid said? That was your fan base. The black women that go to church, the black men that go to church, they were the ones listening to you. Not people serving horchatas. You don't have, it's not too many people who are eating chow mein and beef and broccoli and listening to you. And egg rolls. They were listening to you eating mac and cheese, goddammit. And you didn't learn that lesson.
Them, or whether we've talked about what the president is doing that is subversive to the Constitution, that is injurious to our liberty.
I'm not going to play all of this video.
Books that people find inconvenient.
Well, there you have it, Joy and Reid. You thought fighting for everybody was the way out. And all those people turned their monkey ass backs on you. All them people turned their monkey ass back on you. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha. Oh my God, I tripped myself out. Now, I want to see what you guys think. Call in 323 744 7425. 323 744 7425. Let me take this picture down. My bad, y'all. I didn't mean to keep this up. My bad. God damn. Cynthia, Joy, Reid, Joy Arevro. Oh shit, what's going on? I'm sorry, y'all. Let me see. My Skype ain't working. Let me see. Reopen, motherfucker. Trying to have this shit. My bad, y'all. Y'all probably. And hit the like button, man. We got like over 900 people in here, man. Hit the goddamn like button. Goddamn near 1,000 people in here. I should have 1,000 likes by now. Hit the like button, y'all. Go to thewanb.com. Because black people don't owe anybody anything but an ass whooping. You can get the hoodie right now. Type in the product code back, the number 4, more, and get 15% off your shit over at thewanb.com. Get your hoodie right now. Black people don't owe anybody anything but an ass whooping. Rocky over here waking up. Rocky been over here knocked out. Rocky been here the whole time. Knocked the fuck out. You ready to go, doggy? Get the Black American Music Family Tree. You can get it in a sweatshirt. You can get it on the canvas. What's up, caller? What's the name? Where you calling from? What's up, caller? You there?
Yes, I'm here. What's up?
What's up? What's up, you mind? What's up? What's the name? Where you calling from?
How you doing? It's Destiny. Blame it on Des in the comments. I'm doing fine. I'm in Ohio.
Oh, you're in Ohio. So what's
Yes,
going on?
Ohio. Tether Talk. I caught in at the tail end, but I kind of figured I know where you was talking about Godfrey or whatever, because he been on this fence. He been trying his hardest to like try and be like some type of a spokesman for Black people, but just like I used to say, white people have a racist bone in their body, and now I'm knowing that like it's not really just white people, it's more so like non-Americans. Like non-Americans have a non-American, like their bone in their, it's something, it's in their psyche because they don't, they're not. They ran from their, they fled their country for whatever reason, for a better life, but it wasn't for a better life in America, to stay in America, because they all go back to they all either fly their flags or they all have their different sentiments. Or Godfrey would even chime in and say like, I'm Nigerian, and he'll do his little Nigerian accent that he learned from his family and his people and his household. And it's like these people don't have no loyalty to anyone. Like Black people relate more to Black people. When you learn from a Black person that you know is from America, you learn better. I said the same goes with them. That's why they all grifting together, and like there's a line that they all will follow. There's a line that they will all follow. Like they'll all go off a little bit, tad bit, depending on how dark their skin is or where their audience is.
What it is they're going to look. At the end of the day, all humans, 99% of humans, well, I'm going to say 99, 95, unless they're influenced by money to go in another direction, you're going to be loyal to your mother and father. That's just what it is. That's why even like some of the biggest coons on earth, they get to a point where they just like gotta tell the truth. Like when we talked to Dr. Randy Short, what's his name on the Supreme Court, Clarence Thomas. Dr. Short talks about how he knows personally so much money that Clarence Thomas done got from his white wife and gave it to Black causes, but the only thing was they could not tell that it came from Clarence Thomas. I heard a few of them stories about Clarence Thomas. Like, whoa!
Like we can't even see that. Like we can't even have that in our zeitgeist. We can't
because
even know that
FBA, like Clarence Thomas he's smart enough to know that them conservative white folks would kick him out like they're trying to do right now. The gravy train to stop if they find out. So with FBA, even your biggest coon, you'll find out low key. Every now and then you'll see them doing something that comes back to us, or there's only so far of a line we're willing to go. When it comes to other people, if you don't share the same bloodline as my mother and my father, there's a line in which I'm willing to align with you. That's just what we got to accept as Black people.
We got to accept that, because we really have to accept that. Because if we don't accept that, I think we have. I think we're getting the size, like, we gotta let these people go, or we gotta let this go, or oh man, I think we're at that point right now, because even with how the government is acting, Black people are listening to what people are actually saying, and there's a clear opposition in between. Even it's with white people right now that we're seeing.
It's all of them.
And foreigners and foreign Black people. These I've been watching. I'm like, listen, man, I ain't really seen too many Black Americans politically going into this fight. And I've been hearing you said Black people shut up and stay out of this. Shut up and stay out of this.
Yeah, stay out of it. I got to take the next call, but yeah, you're right about that. Thanks for giving us a call.
Yep.
Appreciate that. Yeah, Black people, that's our thing. We just got to stay out of it. We call back. Whoever it was, call back. we got to just stay. That's our role. Stay out of this shit. When he said Charlie Parker's granddaughter here, salute to Charlie Parker's granddaughter. That's royalty right there. Anybody relate to that god of music? Salute to you. What's up, caller? What's the name? Where you calling from?
Oh, this is Lions Dollars out of Georgia.
Lions out of Georgia. What's on your mind, brother?
Oh, I appreciate all the work that you do. I just came off a Red Supreme stream, and that's a real one too.
Yeah, salute to Red Supreme. He is a real one. He holds it down.
Absolutely. All of this could be traced back to that whole soundbite that Fat Joe did with saying 50-50, which was bullcrap, and he knows better. And how somehow Crazy Legs and Busta Rhymes just got on code with him and just ran with it.
Remember
Busta
Rhymes said that Black Americans have no culture before the 50. Remember that? But Busta didn't expect that to get out because he said that like at a school. He didn't expect that video clip to go everywhere. But go ahead.
Right. And I was born in 87. Yeah. So I already know. I remember the 90s. He wasn't saying none of that back then at all. He was claiming 5%er. He was throwing the N-word around. We ain't know that brother was Jamaican until, he actually came out there and said it. And Fat Joe's a certified liar and sucker. And I said that. Because back in 93, when he dropped that crappy album, bro, you didn't take the world by storm. You took the world by storm when Tupac came out with Representing for 93. A year after the Ghetto Boys dropped Minds Playing Tricks on Me. See, to me, this is what happens when you have a bunch of old suckers that have been playing the long game for a long time and waiting to do some sucker stuff like this.
Yeah.
And I mean that respectfully, too, like DJ Kool Herc, who I consider a pioneer, but the inventor, bruh, no, the whole merry-go-round technique, you don't have no production credits. You used to work construction. Last time I checked, you didn't make it in the industry like that. No, bro. To me, this is just like people that have an identity crisis because they know they can't go back to the other side. That's why Busta Rhymes is now trying to side with Africans and trying to say that Africans created hip-hop, which is also very stupid because if they would have created it, it would have started there and we would have adopted it here. So that's how you get people like Crazy Legs the devil tells on himself every time. Back in the 80s and 90s, you said that you got your moves from James Brown, Soul Train, in martial arts films, specifically with Bruce Lee, which is probably why you have Asians that have taken on to breakdancing more than Latinos.
Right.
So if you got those moves from James Brown, a recurring figure in hip-hop, in Soul Train, you basically took FBA dances and reintegrated it into another FBA dance. So that does not make that there's no 50-50 right there. It'd be different if you added like some Puerto Rican dances in there, but you didn't even do that, bro. You added gymnastics. That's what the whole flare and the windmill was. And then if you look on a long enough timeline, breakdancing probably descends from a lesser known African-American martial art known as knocking and kicking. And that's descended from Ngolo. It resembles Afro-Brazilian capoeira. And it was used by Southern Black secret societies for the same reason that our Afro-Brazilian cousins used it for, to disguise it as a dance. And, I would take it, because I don't know the history after that once, FBA started doing boxing and wrestling, which is more practical in real-life fighting situations, those moves were just reintegrated into different dances that have always been attached to our music. Because you had said something very profound in one of your prior broadcasts, that our music really drives our society and culture. Because when you look at it, every musical genre that we make that becomes popular, it becomes the name of the era that it was cultivated in. The jazz age, the blues age, the rock age, the R&B age, the soul age, the funk age, the hip-hop age. Mm-hmm. And I believe also a lot of this comes from spite. Not to talk your ear off, I'm sorry. But because you remember the 90s as well as I do. And since you're more astute in music than I am, I'm more of a lyrics guy. You understand the patterns. The dominant music in the 90s was alternative rock, pop, hip-hop, R&B, country, then a little bit of new age here and there.
Let's go here. When it came to black music, rhythm and blues was still king in the 90s.
Right.
During the golden age of hip hop, and we all agree, for the most part, the golden age of hip hop was probably 86 to 94. During that time, rhythm and blues was still king, and by far, Tupac wishes he had TLC's record sales. Biggie wishes he had the platform as Boys to Men. You know what I mean? You know, no rapper was as big as Tony Braxton. So we got to understand hip hop. Even during, I was saying this the other day. I was last night. If you look at my Twitter, I was talking about a Keith Sweat song because I remember when I was a kid, this song playing right before like the gangsters. It could be the most Jerry curl, Kroger sax wearing ass gangster on earth. But if they had a sound system, they was playing this. Wait, they was playing this right here.
Right.
I don't give a damn how gangster the nigga was. They was playing that. We had a mixture in our people would play Houdini, then play Shirley Murdoch right after that. Cats would play Public Enemy, and then turn around and play some damn Peebo Bryson right after that.
Right.
That's
Disney
our
has a lot
culture.
Peebo Bryce too.
Huh? Yeah. We can't let them rewrite
that.
But go ahead. I'll finish your point, my brother. Go ahead.
My bad. And you're absolutely right. Hip hop's ascension in the 90s owes a lot to R&B. As well, I would even argue New Jack Swing, which was a fusion of both.
It knows everything to R&B.
Because Biggie began,
It knows everything. Look, when it came to that, a lot of that hip hop ended up producing music. They took a lot from James M. Tume.
Right.
This right here.
And they did a lot of collaborations back then too with each other. And then you had groups like TLC that basically did it all right there.
That's R&B. That hip hop took that sound from. You had D-Train, but I'm gonna play some music examples. Go ahead and finish your point, then I'm gonna play some examples. But go ahead and finish your thought before I keep cutting you off. But finish your point, then we go.
No, you good. You good. We just conversing. Then when you go to the 2000s, and I'm an eclectic. I listen to multiple genres of music. A lot of the rock during that time period wasn't up to par unless it was from like older groups like U2 or groups that established themselves in the 90s. So like around like 2000 to 2005, hip hop really hit its stride and really dominated the charts as a genre.
And you know why? For those of you on my Patreon, you niggas on Patreon, I look at the video count. Y'all not taking advantage of what y'all need to take advantage of. I did a breakdown on why. The reason hip-hop went to the front in 2003, 2004 was literally because record labels said they stopped putting money in R&B. They had already degraded R&B throughout the 90s. The record labels chose to, a lot of R&B acts that were around in the early 2000s, from Donnell Jones to music. The record labels said, you know what? No more funding this. And they put all of the money, dollar for dollar, they took it out of hip-hop. Out of R&B, and they put it into hip-hop. Hip-hop was artificially placed above rhythm and blues. Hip-hop never at any point in our history beat out rhythm and blues as a sound of Black America. The record label just one day say, you know what? We're only going to put our R&B budget behind Justin Timberlake and these white people, and then save it for Bruno Mars. And then we'll give you one Chris Brown. We'll give you one Beyonce. We'll give you one Usher. Outside of that, that's it. No more R&B, and all of it went behind hip hop. But I got a few other calls I gotta take, my brother. Thanks for giving us a call.
No problem. Salute.
Yes, sir. What's up? Hold on 1 second, caller. Here's another person that hip hop. Oh, they took from D-Train.
Nobody turns around.
Hold on 1 second, caller.
Step on up.
Hip hop took a lot from D-Train. Hip hop took a lot from Zap. Hip hop took a lot from Herbie Hancock. Herbie Hancock's Rocket. It was the jazz guys and the rhythm and blues guys that Larry Smith worked with when he became hip hop's original producer, he came out of that R&B field, and it was the rhythm and blues guys that were bringing this stuff into music first, that the hip hop people started to rework. Never forget that. What's up, caller? What's the name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Barry, FBA, calling out of San Francisco.
Out of San Francisco. What's on your mind, brother?
So first off, a couple points. First off, I was the one that wrote it in the Chano Pozo. No disrespect. In fact, I really dig everything you're doing, especially that Lord Jamar broadcast was off the chain, man. I met you first at the first rally for reparations. We talked for a little bit, and then I don't know if you remember, but I was sitting in front of the DJ booth at the Repasase thing while you were hosting that. So anyway, the point that I wanted to make was, they try to, you say that the people in New York are in a bubble. And what they don't realize is most of these immigrants, all of their family is in New York. We got family all over the country. And one thing that we have is our annual and sometimes semi-annual family reunions. And that's where we share what's going on in different places and whatnot, And then I remember years ago, I caught that a lot of what binds us together as well, it was the Pullman Porter trains. You had people that's why we were all connected as a country. My family came out of Louisiana. We would go down to Louisiana every year for the family reunion. And we had people all over the country would come down there and, we'd always have to dance for the adults, at these family reunions. I'm 63, so I was born in 61. I remember how all this stuff came about, and so I really take umbrage. I really love this past year, the awakening of foundational Black America, because we reclaiming all our stuff. Microphone Check came out. You started it off with Cat Williams making his little prophecy, the Kendrick Lamar thing. It's just, Kamala losing. It's just one thing after another, and we reclaiming all our stuff. And I just want to laud you for the work that you're doing on the music side, because that is an important cultural invention of ours that we need to guard and gatekeep very heavily.
Real talk, man. Thanks for giving us a call, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. He's right. We gotta gatekeep it because we hear music every day. To me, music is my route to gatekeeping culture, and everyone has their route. There are chefs out there. Y'all know the food point of it. There are people who are into low riding, and y'all know that part. People who are into riding Harleys, y'all know that part. There are people who are deeper into the history than I am. You know that part. Whatever your part is, we gotta talk about it. But for me, music is like we hear a song every day. So I want every time we hear a song, I want every Black person to be like, even if you're listening to reggaeton, I want you to be like, they still needed us for that too. What's up, Carter? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Dewan B. What's up with the player? Man? It's D, man, from the land, bro.
What's up,
look, D, man, I'm finna spark it, bro. Check it out. Man, I'm glad we getting these old musty tellers, man, that's trying to infiltrate our politics, bro. You know what I'm saying? Out the paint, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because I was tired of even my dad, when he was living, man, he used to watch Al Sharpton and that girl with the crooked weave, man. You know what I'm saying? FBA women don't even wear their weaves like that, bro. It looked like she was taping it, like she had some tape on her goddamn head. She taped her wig to her head or some type shit, man.
Yeah, that Joy Reid. Yeah, what the fuck, man?
I'm glad, man. Look, man, Black Americans, we tired of the nonsense, bro, with these folks, man. You know what I'm saying? Come over here tethering, you know what I'm saying, all in our politics, man, trying to dictate what's going on and all that. Yeah, man, and Busta Rhymes too, bro. When he came out in Highland, he wasn't talking about all that he talking about, man. I thought he was black like everybody else.
Me too.
Nah, man.
I thought he was too.
And then Godfrey too, bro, because Godfrey, what he do, right? Godfrey played both sides of the fence. He a double agent, bro. You know what I'm saying? He'd come off like, you know what I'm saying, like, yeah, man, he'd talk about, oh, man, this is how Africans, man, this is how Africans have vitriol towards y'all Black Americans, man, and their countries is like shitholes and all that. And then he'd come by here, bring somebody like Conzo, the Bozo, and ask why, the Black Americans is tripping. Man, both of them fools know goddamn well, man. That's our culture, man. Y'all came in, y'all was invited guests. You know what I'm saying? And y'all got all y'all game and all everything that y'all seen on how we got down, and y'all tether on to it, man. And now y'all trying to claim it like y'all part of it, bro. Y'all, we cannot do that with no Africa, no Puerto Rico, no Caribbean, no nothing outside of the United States. We can't tether on to nobody else's culture. So, they getting called out, and I'm glad to see the grassroots, man, is out here making noise, bro. You know what I'm saying? Getting folks fired from these jobs. They sitting there been eating off. They've been eating off the law of the land basically for free. You know what I'm saying? You talking about they always got to add everybody else to our politics, bro, and then cosplaying on top of that. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Big one.
Big one, man. Thanks for calling. Yeah, that's disrespectful about it. Like, think about it, black people. They can't go into white neighborhoods. When they were allowed to come into America from wherever they come from, the United States did not build a separate neighborhood for these people to come into. They had to come into ours. Because had they gone into white neighborhoods, white people would have for sure killed them and done all kind of stuff. And they definitely wouldn't let them open up no businesses in their neighborhoods. We allow people in, and think about 1 second, caller. Hold on 1 second, caller. I'll get right to you. Think about it. America is segregated. But everywhere in America is segregated except for black neighborhoods. Let me explain. Black people, when the Latinos are doing stuff, we can't come into the party. When white people are doing stuff, we can't come into the party. Asians can't go into white people's parties. Latinos can't go into white people's parties. We cannot go into anybody else's parties. But white, Latino, Asian, wherever they are, if they come down to where we are, we're never going to say no. From LA to Maine, from Seattle to Miami, if they come to one of our clubs, one of our live music clubs, nightclubs, or whatever, we're never going to tell them no. Now we're going to look at their shoes and clown their shoes. Why are you wearing some Nike Ducks, motherfucker? We don't clown that shit, but you still welcome. So people, we are our open welcome paths. People feel 30, 40 years later that they meant that it was theirs. Like, no, you Puerto Ricans and Jamaicans got to learn what white Americans learned when they tried to take jazz from us. They were allowed, and they tried for a long time to be the face of jazz. But we stood strong, and now everybody in the world knows that black America is still the face of jazz. So if white people couldn't do it, who the fuck you think you guys are? You just were the newest people that were coming down to our shit, like the white people before you. Still don't make it your culture. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Drone? This is Andres in Paris.
Andres in Paris. I'm calling from Paris.
Yeah. It's the third time I call. I called once, I don't know if you remember, right before the Olympics. And you thought that Paris was California. Actually, I'm from Paris, France, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Paris, France, not Paris, California.
Yeah. And the second time I called, the second time I called was to talk about tattooing and said that nobody.
Your phone is digitizing right now.
So what?
Your phone is digitizing.
Oh, hold on a second. Can you hear me now?
I hear you, but it's digitizing. Keep talking.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Make it quick. It's digitizing, right. So I want to make sure I give you everything you say.
Okay, sorry. Because I usually watch this shit on the replay, but it's 4 in the morning right now, so I had a chance to call you on live, and I have a quick say about reparations.
Go ahead.
Okay, so on my point of view, I'm just a guy who was born and raised in Paris from Venezuelan parents, so I don't have any bias. I stand for what's right and just, you know what I mean? So do I think that the labor of Black American in the United States should be paid or some fashion or form? Absolutely. Do I think that immigrants that come from Jamaica or any other country that's not the United States should benefit from America's reparation? Absolutely not. But I think that Black Americans should get their reparation, and also the Caribbean people should go to the Caribbean and ask for reparation. And French people from the French islands should ask for reparations.
I got what you said.
But
It's kind of getting worse. I want to summarize what you said because the connection is real
so I was
bad.
saying that if hold on.
Go ahead.
Sorry for the bad connection. So I think that if all those different entities will go to the World Court of Justice and the National Court of Justice, I think it would have more power. Because if you look at what happened during the abolition, it wasn't just, I mean, of course, all the countries didn't have abolition at the same time. But if you look at what was happening, the whole world was changing. The economy
I'm gonna cut you off because I wanted to summarize what you said because the connection is really bad. But let me just summarize what you said. You said you believe Black Americans deserve reparations, and you believe that Jamaicans and Caribbeans should go to CARICOM and get theirs. And the Caribbean people basically they should understand that when we get ours, they're gonna be straight too because we spend money with everybody. That's basically what you're saying. Like we get ours, they get theirs, and then everybody come together and go to the World Court and get it all. And I agree with that.
There you go.
But thanks for giving us a call because the connection's fuzzy. So man, but thanks for giving us a call.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, sorry for the connection.
It's all good. I agree with that. He said it right. We get our reparations. Jamaicans get theirs. Caribbeans get theirs. And then we all come together and get it from the World Court. I agree. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, man. It's MDT. Call from Richmond, California.
Richmond, California. What's on your mind, my brother?
Man, I seen the video of Godfrey and Crazy Les, man. Craziness, he needs to stop lying, man. Like, seriously.
That's a lying motherfucker right there, boy.
Man, he's full of lies, bro. Like, it started in the 1970s. Like, in the 1970s, New York was segregated, bro. And New York was very segregated. And people don't talk about that. New York was diverse, but it was segregated. Black people couldn't go to Puerto Rican side, or they'll get chased out. That was the thing. And yes, you said Puerto Ricans there. I don't want to be disrespectful toward. Yeah, your ladies was there because we were smashing your chicks. The brothers were smashing your chicks. I'm sorry, but it happened. But that's all I want to land. You can land the one B. That's all.
Yes, man. Thanks for getting us a call from Richmond, California.
All right.
Yeah, the ladies was there. All the rosy presidents. I ain't heard not one nigga roll his R's in hip hop. There's no way in hell Puerto Ricans in hip hop. Ain't nobody ever rolled their R's. Puerto Rico. We don't do that shit no goddamn hip hop. We don't say Rosecrans, nigga. We say Rosecrans. Fuck out of here. None of that shit, man. What's up, Carl? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up with it, man? It's Town Business in the house. This is Otto. You know
Town
what I'm saying?
Business. Say mine, my brother.
Hey, look here, man. Always enjoying your platform. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to be here. I wanted to say two things. One, if anybody's seen Do the Right Thing, not just the Last Dragon, Bruce Leroy, but Do the Right Thing. Spike Lee showed what Puerto Ricans was doing. They had a beef with any brothers walking down the street with that boom box playing our rap music.
Yep.
It was
Turn
a
that jungle
standoff.
music off.
You know what I'm saying? And we couldn't go into the Italian shop to play the music. It was jungle music to them. Spike Lee already told him himself, so he's trying to change his tune now. But he already etched it in stone, basically, when he made that film saying Puerto Ricans hate rap where I come from.
Yep.
That's what he already said. So he can't take it back and say,
he put it on wax. He put it on film. So, yeah, you can't take it back now, homeboy.
So we talking about the king of New York told us when we was in our grade school era, Do the Right Thing, that Puerto Ricans hate rap. Your community hated it. It's you can't take it back. The only way you was allowed to participate is if you was passing for black.
You saw earlier in that interview, I didn't play that part, but there was a part where Crazy Legs is talking about how back in the early 80s he had the afro. And he showed the
Thank
picture.
you.
He was putting his. He didn't have no Puerto Rican mullet. He had a black afro.
Fat Joe too. He walked around with a kufi.
Goofy with the kufi. We gonna call Fat Joe the goofy with the kufi, nigga.
Like, stop it. You didn't grow that mullet out either. You put the kufi on because you knew it was going down.
You knew it.
And then my second point was, I'm from the town. So in LA, you guys have a funkadelic sound, and you guys keep it for the first generation funk. In the Bay, we take more of the second generation funk. We come from the Prince. We come from the Cameo. So when you watching MC Hammer come out, you can see he's Cameo style
Rick
of
James,
hip-hop.
yeah.
He's Rick James,
That's
bitch.
second
That's why we come
yeah.
out with that Mac Dre. That's Rick James, bitch. That whole Too Short is Rick James. I'm Rick James, bitch. What's Too Short favorite word? Bitch. And it's just like Rick James. So that's why when you come up there, it's a hyphy because we got the electric guitar with the electric with the keyboard sound is real hyphy. It's real fast paced because it's the bird. You know what I'm saying? With Cameo, it's the bird. It's Purple Rain. You know what I'm saying? When it gets deep and dark, it's a different funk. But California is all funk. You know what I'm saying?
Think about it. California got the funk before, as far as on wax, before Ohio. Sly and the Family Stone and War.
Man,
that's late '60s
James
funk.
James Brown
kicked it
stayed
off
out there, and come on, man. And LA to the Bay, James Brown stayed. He could barely. He probably got 5 baby mamas in Cali. Okay, y'all don't understand. James Brown's second home was California, man. And we stayed on the Chitlin circuit, so you didn't get nothing, any significance. You didn't get any music of black culture before California in any significant time.
Yeah.
Because California is way more family orientated as far as the South and our roots than New York is. So to really put it plainly, we more black, we more FBA than New York. That's why y'all in a bubble, because you live like immigrants. Immigrants are in bubbles.
Damn, I didn't think about it that way, but damn, yeah, stacked on top of each other.
That's why niggas from immigrants they don't have to learn English because they not going nowhere.
That's a good point.
Where they going? They not going to Texas. They not going to Florida. They not traveling Nevada. They not going to Colorado. They not going nowhere.
Yeah.
So that's why you a square when it comes to your own culture. And it's another thing. All I gotta do is say, what's your black restaurants that y'all go to? What's your FBA restaurants in Brooklyn, in Harlem? Wherever you at, your culture is there. So are you really culturally FBA? Or are you just somebody that's tethering on to the FBA culture?
That's a good point, man. Thanks for letting. I got a few more calls I got to get to, man. But thanks for giving us a call.
Hey, town business, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all later.
Yes, sir. Town business. Yes, sir. Them Bay Area niggas be hitting with that town. How I ship off that. Salute to the Bay. But here's some Bay Area funk that I like. Wait, let me see. I'll try to answer call. Call a call back. I tried to answer. I was playing this. That Ain't Walk right there, Rusty Allen is playing. Doom, doom, doom. Man, shit. What's up, Carl? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Queens, New York.
Queen, what's your name?
John.
John from Queens, New York. What's on your mind?
DJ Rhythm Selector J. Before I say anything, I want to ask you a question. How much of that Crazy Legs interview did you listen to?
Most of it. I couldn't get through all of it. Why?
I couldn't get past 25 minutes. When he kept saying the 50-50, and I see where he was going with it. He was saying, like, every time Godfrey says something, he'll mention, like, one guy with Dizzy Gillespie. He'll mention Tito Fuentes. So you're going to mention Tito Fuentes doing something on Sugar Hill Records. Some guy that Dizzy Gillespie hired to do something in his band, and you're going to equate that to 50-50 when it's just one guy in a group.
Right.
That was told to play in a band. That's like You getting a guy that just plays trumpet good in your band. Now he's 50% of your band.
Right, and you see how that goes one way? He'll talk about how the black person, how they got one sound, but he won't mention anything about the black roots of their sound. Like, that shit don't exist. Never once did he mention that.
It shows where he's going with it, because how much research you got to find this one guy. And Cologne does the same thing. You find these one or two guys, and it's never been 50-50. Never. And I'm a little older than some of the callers. I'm 57. And I remember, and I'm not from the Bronx, but I'm in Queens. We had Puerto Ricans in Queens too. And I remember you could date their girls, but you couldn't bring them, they couldn't bring you to their house, but they can come to your house. Because our people, that's how we are. And like Homeboy said, yeah, we were smashing their chicks. It's true. And you had one or two, don't get me wrong, you had one or two Puerto Ricans hanging around, but they were like an anomaly. They were like an outcast, and most of them were the ones you couldn't tell.
They were hiding.
50-50, yeah, and he keep inserting like one little guy. Well, okay, one little guy. So I offer the challenge to people I know. Go through all your hip-hop records. Lay them all out, CDs, records, tapes, whatever. How many Spanish artists we have? Even to this day, you can go from the beginning to now, 50-50. It's not even 10-90.
It's not even 0.5% to 99.5%. Especially if you dig into the crates and say, okay, what music were you playing?
Right. Now,
you may have 0.0001% Latin samples.
Right.
Not even full percentage.
I've been a DJ since the early 80s. All my friends are DJs. And we talk. We've never met a crew. Not until now. Now, because anybody with a little bit of money could buy equipment. But when we were coming up, I've never met a crew of Puerto Ricans that owned the sound system. Now, you might have a Puerto Rican in a group, and the black guy owned the sound system. But I've never seen a whole crew of Puerto Ricans and they own the entire sound system. Everything is there. The speakers, the amps, the records. Nothing.
None of that. And so, yeah, no, you're right about that. That shows you the conquistador mindset that these people have that was passed on from their white conquistador ancestors, that they cannot just be cool with being cool. They have they can't just be cool being cool. They got to find any little straw argument to grab on, any kind of straw to grab to put themselves on top. And they just get mad because we Donkey Konging their asses. Boom, back down to the bottom, bitch.
What they did? All right, they took breakdancing to another level. They made it more, acrobatic and all that other stuff.
They took breakdancing and dumbed it down. Let's tell the truth. They dumbed breakdancing down. Let's not give them credit for elevating it.
And that's all they really got. I mean, and as far as graffiti go, I grew up with a lot of graffiti artists. Some of them were white, some of them were Spanish, some of them were black. A whole lot of them will tell you right off the rip, I ain't got nothing to do with hip hop. I just like painting on walls.
Right.
They don't even claim it. A bunch of them don't even claim it. The only ones that claimed it really are the ones that used to do the flyers.
That's it.
And that's like 2 or 3 guys.
That's it, because it ain't theirs, man. But I got a few more calls, man. Thanks for giving us a call. He 100% right. Thanks, man.
All right.
Yeah, they don't even claim this shit. Just a few people like Crazy Legs. Don Catalog says Crazy Legs used to rest his head on Ben Bada's lap. Nobody should be listening to him. Yeah, Pop Lock and K from the West. Yeah, Pop and Pete. Oh man. But we gotta go ahead. We gotta talk about this, man. I'm gonna go back and finish watching Lord Jamar's response now. I didn't really get to I clicked on it, I didn't really get to watch his response to this. But because matter of fact, when I saw Lord Jamar talking about this, I wanted to go live at 3, but right when I was getting ready to schedule my live, I saw Lord Jamar was talking about it, so that's why I didn't go live. I wanted his to go. I'm gonna go back and watch his response to this all the way through, because yeah, it's some bullshit. But Wait, my last call. What's up, call? What's the name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what up, though, DeWine? This is Frank from Detroit.
Frank from Detroit. What's your name?
Yeah, excuse me. I'm at work. Yeah, I'm glad Joy Reid gone. And I'm tired of these tellers lying. You know, they just mad because we don't pull the covers off of them. But that's about it.
You right about that. That's what happens when you turn the light on. Roaches spread.
DeWine, let me ask you one more question before I gotta go.
Go ahead.
About 2 weeks ago, I was looking at your community post, and you had on like a purple blazer. Was that an ode to Prince?
The what?
You had on a purple blazer. Was you
Oh,
wearing that like
no.
in respect to Prince? Like you were sitting down for your documentary.
Nah, that shit just look fly. That's all.
Oh man, that shit was dope, bro. And no Diddy. That shit was tough.
For sure, man. Thanks for giving us a call.
But thanks for taking my call, brother.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I'm filming my documentary on the gospel roots of Black American pop music. I got a lot going. I'm writing my book at the same time. I went and spazzed out this past week on this book, y'all. Like, I got the idea, I got the notion. I was like, I got to get this done. I wrote 4 chapters last week of this book. I wrote 4 chapters last week. I plan on, my outline has this as a 13-chapter book. I'm not sure how to play out, but my outline is at 13 chapters. It might be more, it might be less. I don't know. But I wrote 4 chapters last week, y'all. Like, let's go. Like, I was sitting at this computer going to work, like just 6-7 hours a day, just going. This shit got to come out, y'all. This shit got to happen. Tell its truth. All right, y'all. I'm about to get up out of here. I got some shit to do. Thank y'all again for listening. And Tether's like, Godfrey, I see you playing online, but understand that we Black Americans don't have a line that we can play. So we're going to notice when somebody else is playing on a line that we don't have to play on. You may not have understood the history. I'm not going to go too hard on Godfrey. You may not have understood the history or whatever. But you been on camera with him, it just looked like y'all was bitching about Lord Jamar. It looks as if, and I could be wrong, but it seems as if that's the only reason why Crazy Legs was on. He didn't have nothing to sell. He ain't got nothing going on right now. It seems as if he was just brought on to be a shot at Lord Jamar. And if that's true, it ain't cool for you to allow somebody to lie, like use your platform to lie like that. That's what I heard. Yeah, you're being watched. You're being watched. You're being watched. That program was atrocious with the bullshit. You and your co-host did a fairly good job of checking some stuff, but that's not enough. When you gotta watch who you have on. Just like Math Alpha gotta see what happened with Math Alpha, him having Fat Joe on. And that's for all Black content creators, any content creator. You gonna have Fat Joe, Busta Rhymes, Pete Rock, these people that like spreading these lies about Black American culture and the history of hip hop. Your platform is gonna have to answer to that. Period. You want to platform these liars, you're going to have to answer to their lies. And like Math Alpha and Fat Joe found out, I'm not sure you want that. All right? Go to thewannab.com, book your readings, and remember, rest in peace to the Iceman, Jerry Butler. Rest in peace, Roberta Flack. Rest in peace, Chris Jasper. Just three titans of music. I think Gene Chandler is only like one of the last doo-wop guys. Gene Chandler and Otis from the Temptations are the last of some of the last of the doo-wop guys still living from Gospel Quartet. Let's celebrate these people. And let's make sure we celebrate our history and where our music comes from. Because without these melodies and harmonies laid down by our forefathers, hip-hop doesn't have a leg or a beat to stand on. Doesn't have a leg to stand on or a beat to dance to without our legends. Go to patreon.com. I got a lot of these history lessons up on Patreon. My Patreon is full of stuff. It's well worth the price. It's a lot of history on that Patreon. A lot of history. Everything that I talk about, if you want a full context of what I'm talking about, I got over 100 hours of lessons on Patreon on this stuff. Well over 100 hours of me teaching this stuff on Patreon. My newest upload, Decoding Earth and the Fire. So I want to thank y'all for joining. And we're going to end it. All right. Thank y'all again for listening. We out.